What's up, guys? Dan for the Madden YouTube channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you a very easy way to pick up chunky yardage, if not a one-play score, against cover 2 shells out of the gun bunch. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way here on the Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to take your game to the next level in Madden 21, check out my strategy site, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online play. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active. So head over to gridirongameplans.gg. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website, and you can opt out at any time. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's video. We're going to be taking a look at the play Clear Out, Split End Out. This is a play that is found in 3 offensive playbooks: the Falcons, Ravens, and Seahawks. Now, for this video, we are in the Seahawks. The Seahawks is a very, very popular book this year because you have the ability to audible from your bunch into your bunch tight end, which, as we know, that PA boot over, rollout, delay fade meta is still very, very solid. A lot of players struggle to defend it, but it also boasts the trips tight end offset, which has some of the better runs in the game as well. It's got the inside zone, it's got the RPO alert, buck screen, or buck sweep type run. It's got an RPO trap. So, you know, they've got a pretty solid little trips tight end with some solid runs that the regular trips tight end does not have. So this book is really, really popular. I'd recommend it highly. The Ravens book, though, is really sneaky as well. As you guys know, I break down the spread offensive game plan in its totality on gridirongameplans.gg. And what you'll notice with that scheme is I kind of mix in the RPO, the option type plays, and teach you guys how to optimize and run those in very effective ways against the current defensive meta. And then just last week, I released a gun Heisman scheme here for free on the YouTube channel, showing that the Ravens book has some really, really sneaky stuff that players can't defend with the current meta. Now, if you combined the content from the spread offensive game plan on Gridiron with the Heisman scheme and just the knowledge of how to run the RPOs and make them super glitchy, you can also run this bunch offense and fall back on this and more as a meta, and you're going to have this play Clear Out, Split End Out. So let's go ahead and take the field and explain how this works. Clear Out, Split End Out actually takes advantage of this fade route to the outside receiver, the B receiver on this play. And what you'll notice is that if you can get a good block on this, typically this receiver will get kind of side by side with the safety that's in the deep half. And this is going to allow you to kind of roll out, set your feet, and throw an outside pass lead and rack it right by him for the rack ag. This is something that'll happen routinely. Very, very easy. This should remind you to a degree of, I want to say Pavin ran this a couple years ago when he won the club championship series. I don't know if it was this play exactly, but it was definitely this type of manipulation of the deep half on the wide side. So again, all you're really going to do here is roll out, let him get even. When he's even, he's leaving, and you're going to let this launch. Now, right here, we've got the bazooka active on Mahomes. Also keep in mind, though, that Mahomes doesn't have the gunslinger. Let me go ahead and throw this incomplete on purpose, and then we'll kind of go from, well, I'll try to throw it incomplete on purpose, and then we'll go from there where he doesn't have the extra throwing power. I don't want you guys to think that this tip is just, you know, something that only works with bazooka or whatever. So throw it incomplete here, and now we got Tyreek in the zone, so let me go ahead and throw it to him. Click off, and he still caught it. That's awesome. Gotta love pre-scripted outcomes. Do this again here, and then there we go. All right, so we're out of the zone. Now, again, anytime you're facing a cover 2 defense, this is a very, very simple way to manipulate it for an easy one-play score. You don't really have to do too much in terms of hot routes. You could definitely scheme this together if you want. This post in this play to the tight end is one of the best routes in bunch that you can find. But again here, it looks like Mahomes is still in the zone with bazooka. No big deal. Again, he doesn't really have gunslinger, so this kind of makes up for that. The gunslinger is going to let this rip to a point where the safety can't break on this. So that's kind of what you're looking at right here with this. Let me go ahead and try to throw this out of the zone again here. There we go. Threw a pick. All right. So now we got him back with no X factors active, and we'll go ahead and run this again. So we snap the ball. You're looking to roll out and then launch it. Just a sideways pass lead. Right there, we got an on the run inaccurate. You guys know, obviously, that if you release the right trigger while you're on the run, that tends to kind of give you the roaming glitch, even if you don't have roaming Deadeye. I'll basically, when I throw this, is let go of right trigger and then do that. And right there, it just gave us an out of range, but, you know, it was still complete right there. We didn't get the dice rolling accurate that you saw in the previous play. But again, rolling out, kind of let go of the right trigger and then press that. And you see that the throw is pretty much on the money. So if you guys have inside Deadeye, though, obviously inside Deadeye is one of those abilities that is really, really popular for ensuring that you're going to get accurate throws. That'll allow you to kind of set your feet right here. You see how we're able to just launch that over the top. It's a super easy manipulation. Now, what a lot of players are going to do against you if they want to run a cover two is they're not just going to sit and stock cover two. Chances are they're going to try to set up some sort of edge contain rush. I'm thinking 1-4-6. The simple way to avoid that in 1-4-6 is just to put a running back on the field. So what I would do is I would just go ahead and be like, okay, here's a running back. That's going to scare them out of that formation by default. Because what's going to end up happening here is they're going to move their guys in off the edge. They're going to contain, and they're going to try to set this up so that way it's really, really hard to, you know, get outside. And you can set up double teams, you know, and try to slide protect. And, you know, it'll still be really inconsistent. You see right here, he came in free. That's not something you want, obviously. You know, there are ways to block it. You know, you can try to go to more of like a max protect style scheme, which gets rid of the tight end route, which honestly, I think that tight end route is so good because a lot of players will use her right here. And if they don't use her that tight end route, it's going to get wide open. But if you wanted to, you could probably go to a max protection scheme, slide protect, and, you know, hopefully get the block on that defensive back that way, which will allow you to kind of roll out and then, you know, throw that ball. Again, the out of range penalty is tough because you have to kind of set your feet. You also have to wait to make sure that you've got a seal on that contain rusher off the edge, which is why I said putting in a second running back is probably the preferred way. Not because you're actually going to be able to pick up this, even though you can, but what you're going to notice is that they're going to be scared of the audible down, which is what I'm going to show you here in a moment. But you see right there, we tried to throw a double team and the guy still was able to, you know, disengage from it, which is the real problem. But when you have the ability to audible down like this, now all of a sudden they're in a spot where this is actually really, really bad run defense, because now they're trying to defend I form with, you know, dollar, and then that's going to get them gashed and weak boxed, and they don't want to do that. So what that'll do then is just the presence of two running backs on the field, if that's what they like to go to, is the 1-4-6 style or the dollar style defense, is they're going to revert back to their four-man rush coverage based cover two, and that's really going to keep them honest, allowing this to become a much more viable tip for you. So that's how I would honestly get around, because I know that question would typically come with this tip is, what do I do against 1-4-6? Well, you just put a second running back on the field because your opponent's gonna be terrified to try to, you know, defend the run. Most players will be anyways, and that's gonna put you right back into this spot. And then obviously, you know, with this play, you still need to be able to, you know, set your feet. You can, if you want to, try to stay in the pocket. I find it easier if you can get out to the right. So, you know, if you can stay in the pocket, you know, and then throw the outside pass lead, it's a different pass lead angle. You also have to rely on a good offensive line. That's why, again, I like to kind of slide protect, throw a double team right here, and just get out and go. You know, well, preferably you actually get a blocking animation by your guy, but, you know, be patient. Don't just hike and haul. I think that's something a lot of players do, get too far ahead of themselves. But, you know, just kind of throw a double team right here, maybe slide protect to the right, let it set up, let that double team occur, roll out, set your feet, and then launch outside pass lead over the top for the easy one-play score. So again, second running back on the field if you're facing a big time 1-4-6, audible down, keep them honest. Once you start to see them come out in, you know, more of that 3-3-5 wide or the big nickel over G as their secondary defensive formation as the answer to bunch, that's when you can let this play rip. Now, what a lot of players will probably do is once they get beat by this, the problem is with this is you know, the deep half can't cover it. And the deep half is typically known as the zone that's hardest to bomb in this game. So you're gonna see a lot of players that are gonna try to, you know, outside quarter, and here's what it looks like with an outside quarter. So with this now, you see that outside quarter didn't really do anything. So this play is actually really difficult to defend from a cover 2 shell, even if they want to, you know, put a million different deep zones on the play. Here it is now. I'm going to put an outside third to the outside on this. Let's see again how this looks. Try to set this up. Got our block. And right here, I mean, obviously with no flat, you can take off, you can throw corner routes. Obviously, I don't have hot route master or anything like that right here. They're going to have to basically have a deep third on the outside. And as you guys know, if they're playing a deep third on the outside, they're not going to play a cover 2 shell. They're going to want to play like a double Mabel defense. So, you know, if they start to do that and they're playing an outside third coverage, you know, you're going to see the 5 and the 25 setting. Ball and airs, play ball. And then they're going to call like a cover 3 or a cover 4 shell and kind of run it like you would see maybe something like cover 3 sky with two flat zones on each side, one set to each depth. So what you'll see here is, you know, on this, you might see, let's go ahead and do it this way. So you'd probably see something like this where they would be, you know, lurking in the middle of the field with their user like this. And the beauty about this play is that while this might help counter the fade route, the route to Kelsey is the real gem on this. This is the backbreaker because it gets into a spot where you can just let him clear the 25-yard depth and throw it right there. And that's really what kind of makes this so difficult to defend. You take a look at, you know, their answer to the one play score chunk yardage is, you know, this. But honestly, you might even be able to split this up top too. You know, just throw this as a bullet pass straight down central. You know, that's maybe an area of the field that you could squeeze it to. So, you know, if you see something that looks like this in terms of your coverage, if that safety's rotating from the backside, you're going to have the one play score over the top. So, you know, be patient, kind of step up into this throw. And you can obviously see as I try to drop my controller that's on my thigh there for defense, you can see that throw, if provided that you have enough time, is something that you can definitely split the safeties with against cover 3. So again, it depends on what side the safety's rotating from. The beauty is that most players are going to want the 2 high safety in the 25-yard zone on the bunch side, because that is actually the best way to defend some of the corner routes that get open, rather than having the flat, you know, the corner that's in the flat down here being the one that drops back. So if you start to get that safety on the bunch side rotating down, that's really where you're going to be able to let this launch down central and pick up these one play scores. Now, if I flip the cover 3 the other direction, so let me go ahead and this is a symmetrical formation. So if I did it like this, now you've got the safety rotating from the bunch side into center field. So let's say that we were facing, you know, maybe somebody would lurk on this guy in this hook right here. And you see that the safety right here is rotating into center field. Here's what this play looks like from that perspective. So when we run it, snap the ball. Again, your post is going to be open. And I think also your B receiver is. I mean, you see right there, you can still throw that ball wide open over the top. This is actually, it's probably the best play in bunch, if we're being truthful. Because it does such a great job. Outside thirds quit on this fade route so often. And the other thing is too, if you have your zone depth set, they won't chuck. So the free release to everybody on this play is really massive. You could just run a hitch and a fade. You're gonna be able to split the cover 3 super easy. The post is open. Again, you just see a regular throw down the middle of the field is going to be open against cover 3. So this play bombs both cover 3 and cover 2 out of bunch. I don't think enough players run it. You know, the best pros in the world definitely mix it in, but again, you have to be in Seattle or Atlanta or the Ravens playbooks to run this. A lot of players kind of hop around different bunches like Detroit, Washington. There's a lot of good bunches in the game. Some players like the Oakland Tour still for their trips tight end, and then they can make things happen out of the bunch as well. But if you're in Seattle, you need to be running this. This is really the way that you dissect cover 3 and cover 2 deep. And as I mentioned, if they want to put outside quarters in their cover 2, those won't defend this either. So there's no coverage shell in the game that defends this route. Basically, you have to man it up, or you have to play a cover 2. You have to play a cover 2 defense with a outside third, which really puts you in a bad spot, because then you won't be able to defend your, your flats as well. You won't be able to double Mabel nearly as easily. Obviously, big nickel over G, that slot defender doesn't have the ability to, to defend that. So, you're going to be able to, unless they use a different package, throw the ball out in the flat pretty easily. If they're playing regular nickel or, any of these other dime or, dollar type formations where they do have the ability to put a guy in an outside third and to have a deep half, you're still in great position. So if I were to go ahead and do, excuse me, if I were to go ahead and go back to that dollar formation, and let's say that they, have the outside third and the deep half over the top right here, right? Now they're in a spot where they have to kind of set up their Mabel like this, and they're going to be super weak to the middle of the field on that side. So to defend everything that you can do out of bunch, I mean, excuse me, what is to stop me from, snapping the ball and having a route combo like this? Right bumper's open, A's open, and then obviously you want to let, the A tight end get open a little bit more, let that coverage run deep. But if they want to really overcommit to defending everything bunch has to offer on this side, you're going to have so much that's going to be open on this play. It's silly how good this play is in general. So hopefully you guys add this into your offense. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop those below. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys drop that sub as well. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every day when I upload here to the YouTube channel. Make sure you guys check out gridirongameplans.gg. You guys can get everything on the website for $9.95. Hopefully I'll see you guys over there on the site. If not, I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lobby and good luck.